Good morning, everybody. Man, am I happy. Usually I walk in here in some kind of rare mood of not being happy or pleasant because of a sports team that went on. But how can you not? How can you not be freaking pumped? Because I'm pumped. You know why? Because the Phillies went in St. Louis and they rocked. They rocked the Cardinals. Payback is beautiful because I've been waiting for 11 years, not just for postseason red October baseball, but a payback on these Cardinals. And if you heard the commentating last night with A-Rod and that buffoon, what's his name, Mike?
Michael K.
Michael
Good morning
K.
to you, too.
Good morning. You know, the commentary where they were slobbering and making sweet love to the Cardinals. Hey, look at Albert Pujols. Look at this guy. Look. Oh, shut up. And the Phillies stuck it to him. And you know what? Just like I predicted, I told my man Matt Klein, I talked to him on Friday on our way up to New York. I told my man, I said, the most dangerous player in this whole lineup, and nobody's even talking about it. And the minute they moved him down to the lineup was Bryce Harper. I said, he's going to be the most dangerous X factor in this whole lineup. I mean, he set the tone yesterday with that bomb right at the center field. He driven some runs. You got, Kyle Schwarber with the sac fly. I mean, and of course, how about Mr. Sub-Zero himself, Mr. Aaron Nola, just freezing batters at the plate.
Whoa. Time out.
Hold on. No, I'm not done my dialogue yet. And I owe my buffoon brother, Chuck, we owe this man an apology because we said he could not show up in big moments.
I like how Chuck's the buffoon in the situation.
Yeah, well, he's always going to be
he's the buffoon.
Not me.
Listen, this is the best. This is the best. Finally, yeah, you and your brother owe Aaron Nola a nice, lengthy apology for what you guys have said about him. This dude was ice. Like, you want to talk about Dr. Freeze last night? That was Aaron Nola. He was ice last night. But
6 Ks.
I'll tell you what. But the guy who really stood out to me, and I mean, not just last night, but actually the whole, the 2 games, was Alec Bohm. Alec Bohm has made some great defensive plays in this series, and I think his glove needs to be talked about because this guy that Pujols shot, that was a double that he took from him. He robbed Molina, so I think he got the trifecta.
If there's a player of the series for the Phillies, it's Alec Bohm.
Yeah,
I mean, people might say they may pick Bryce Harper because he had that big, long home run because it was the most recent. Alec Bohm, overall, the most consistent player. He stepped up his defense. He looks like a gold glover out there.
Yeah. Hey, man, he was a eureka, dude. He was sucking up everything that went by. Go ahead. I know you want to say it.
Oh, there's nothing wrong with sucking up, Mike.
Yeah, obviously, because you're wearing a Philly shirt now after you've been wearing Mutts colors all year.
There's nothing wrong, Mike, with sucking things. I mean, what's up? But anyway.
See what you started.
I figured I'd get it out the way. I mean, my coffee's
listen. I think he's going to be on a roll today. I think there's no getting anything out the way with him today.
No.
Oh no.
Red October means Red Rockets, and they're flopped out there. So anyway, no, this Phillies team, like you said about Bohm. Bohm's game was magnificent. His glove was even. I will say one thing. A-Rod was pointing that out a lot late last night. He said that how this kid just turned around his life pretty much.
Dude, did you see how they recanted the story though? The way they recanted the story, and I'll give it to them for them guys being they were a national, they're national commentators. They're the Yankee commentators. Well, at least K is. But
I mean, you got 2 Yankee guys.
2 Yankee guys calling Phillies Cardinals. But it was pretty funny because what really kind of impressed me was, and by the way, if Michael K says, "Can you feel the drama one more time?" I'm going to stick my hand through the TV.
I'm not going to come up with an excuse for him, but I think sometimes they give him certain lines they want them to run, or the other way around. Sometimes they come up with lines that they
like the game Friday was. Oh my God! If you want drama, he must have said that 39 times in the 9th inning.
I mean, it's funny. Seattle game put our 9th inning to shame.
Was that not? Oh, dude, if I'm a Blue Jays fan today.
If I'm the Phillies, I'm like, all right, Seattle, come on, man. Give us like 24 hours at least to feel good about what we did. You guys.
Listen, that team is going to give Houston a run for their money.
You called that one. You said one of the most dangerous teams in this postseason is the Mariners.
It's the Mariners. Yeah, man. Like, listen, they can go head to head with the Yankees. They can go head to head with Houston, and that's another team. Just like I'm saying with the Phillies too. The Phillies are going to be a tough out, and it's not going to surprise me if the Phillies go to Atlanta and take game one. Atlanta's been sitting for 5 days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
that's hard to get up. If you remember, dude, that did us in against Colorado in 07. Colorado had to play. If you remember, they played the playing game. They did the playing game.
Yeah.
They were on a roll. They were playing. The Phillies were sitting and waiting, and we got swept out.
So I actually brought that up last night. I was talking to Matty B on the Fighting Final on the post game show after an awesome win. I mean, listen, we'll get to that in a moment. What I feel about having postseason baseball and not just a one and done just speaks volumes. But I said to him, I think game one kind of favors the Phillies a little bit, and what I mean by that is they have been sitting. They'll be sitting almost a week before they play
right. Exactly, and I'm sorry, baseball, you got to play.
It's not just baseball.
Any team. Other than
sport.
football.
I used to say, like, when I was in high school and whatever, I hated bye weeks.
Mm-hmm.
I hated off weeks. Athletes are creatures of habit.
Yeah.
And then if you're not having that same habit, like I said, a whole week of no meaningful baseball. Yes, they'll be well rested. Don't get me wrong, but their timing could be off. Hopefully, some shoulders are a little tight because I'm sure they've been throwing. Don't get me wrong, but there's a whole lot different between a game and simulation.
And here's the thing too: the Phillies and Braves play each other tight too.
Yeah. So here goes our man Sean Kilrain checking in the show. Says, "Hey, what's up, guys? Not a good day to be a Rays and Blue Jays fan for sure." Yeah, that's what I'm saying. And you catch Matt, Sean Kilrain on the Silly Squad tomorrow night. Actually, I can't wait for him to check in. And here goes our man.
And Sean actually joined us on our college football frenzy too.
Excellent.
That box. So yeah, man,
that was good stuff.
Yeah, and here goes our man Austin Hamill.
What's up, Austin?
You can catch him Thursday nights on the Attack and Third. He goes, "Morning, boys. I'm a Blue Jay fan. I'm really feeling the
I'm sorry. Yeah, if you're a Blue Jay fan today, did you see the look in their dugout?
Oh, dude,
they look like. They do look like.
I remember
what happened?
I checked in the game before. Like I was here getting stuff together for today, and I turned the TV off, went home, came back, and I think I left. It was like 5-1 or something like that. Or no, it was 8-1.
8-1.
8-1 at that point, and I'm just like, all right, well, there's game 2. And I walked in, I come back, and I'm like, what?
Yeah, I was online chatting with friends, and I said, yeah, wouldn't it be funny? I said,
notice he wasn't chatting with you, Pat.
Yeah,
I noticed. Well,
I was chatting with friends.
Yeah, I'm an after-hour friend.
Yeah, exactly, buddy. But no, so I'm chatting with a few friends of mine, and one of my friends is from Toronto. He's a huge Jays fan, and I said, "Hey, man," I said, "I know you ain't gonna think this one's funny, but I said I think it'd be hysterical." I said, "If the Jays blow this lead," and sure enough, after doing some,
he does not want to talk to you for the rest.
Oh, probably
no.
Oh, he was rooting against the Phillies all last night. He's like, "Oh, I hope your Phillies lose to the Cardinals." I was like, "Oh, sorry, buddy, we got Nola going today. That's not happening."
And it's so funny because, like, you guys know, I was up in NYC and I was talking with some Mets fan, but he was like realist. He ain't like these guys who
you point something out. Wearing Mets colors, he's hanging up in New York, now, hanging out with Mets fans.
Hey, listen, just seen him. He's like pointing at the guy, like, "Yeah, see, that's who I want to be like."
But
hey,
listen,
this guy's wearing my jersey.
can we switch? No, but listen, the dude was real. Like, he's like, "Oh, you guys have got nothing to worry about." He's like, "You got Nolan Wheeler. That's a 1-2 punch." He's like, "I kind of wish I still had Wheeler on my team." I'm like, "Yeah, sorry." But like I said, guys like that who are like realists, I appreciate, man. Guys who like we both kind of agreed, like as long as one of us could take out the Braves, we'll be fine. I said, listen, if I don't see the Mets in the playoffs, I'll be cool. But anyway,
I think
I want to see. Like, here's my thing: is I love the fact that we're going up the first top of our division right now. That's just great. Like I said, they have everything to prove. I don't want to say we're playing with house money per se. I want a World Series. That's not house money, but they're feeling good. They're playing through. They're going to be on 12, 13 days of being on the road. I mean,
can you imagine when they get home?
They don't first get home until Friday, guys.
Yeah.
The last time they played home was what? It was
Probably
before Houston.
2 weeks ago.
2 weeks.
Yeah,
They're dangerous on the road.
Because
They're road warriors.
You're looking
they
like
were
3
they were a
weeks.
12-game road warriors, right? Leading
Right,
up to,
and then you have 2 with St. Louis. Now you're going to have 2 with Atlanta. So you're looking at 16 straight games on the road.
yeah.
before
So
they get a
that's
home game.
huge. You know how electric Citizens Bank's going to be?
Oh my god!
Oh my
I
gosh.
want to be there. I'm actually thinking about grabbing tickets and
I
going.
already got mine.
Yeah.
I got Friday and Saturday.
Junior has been knocking on me since last night's win. My man cannot go to sleep.
Now I don't know if it's changed, but I'm going to tell you right now. I went and got section 301, and I'll tell you why I got 301. It's because that's where the pandemic crew hangs out.
Oh, shoot.
Very well, and they're great guys, and you know it's going to be nuts there. And you know what? $60 a ticket.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's when I bought them when they first came out. So I don't know if that
Well,
price
they-
changed.
They're probably
definitely
100 now, but I don't care.
Yeah, so we got a couple people checking in. My man Alston's checking in again. He's going up 8-1. See your big money center fielder get stretched off. Is getting stretched off and then blowing that lead. Yeah, it's incredibly tough to watch. Yeah, look. Sorry.
That was a rough. Did you see that play with Bichette and Springer collapsing? Like Bichette looked like he dislocated something. Like I thought his shoulder was dislocated.
I did.
Springer,
I went back and watched it. I heard about it, then I watched them. Like, geez.
Poor Springer, man. Like Springer really got
sad. Now you never want to see somebody get hurt, no matter how much you dislike a team. Like I hate the Mets, but I don't want to see their guys get hurt. But Phillies' last home game was September 25th. That's crazy, Sean. That's absolutely
19 days.
Well, yeah,
Shawnee stats over here.
Oh man, that's why I love Sean. He's got stats. He's a novelist. I call him Sean the novel.
Yeah,
I love him.
Game 3 of the NLDS is October 14th. 19 days, 5 cities between home games. Chicago to Washington to Houston, St. Louis to Atlanta. What a wild ride! And that's just like Sean. I think that points out again, like this team has a little something special. I'm not going to sit here and say, oh, they're going to be unbeatable. They're going to drive to the World Series, but how many times have you seen this big dog? I'm sure all the national pundits are going to be picking the Braves.
Good, let them pick them.
Good.
They put the video out of Larry Anderson from back in the day, like picking on little kids.
I shared that. I shared that in our group chat. Yeah, I thought that was great.
I saw that being passed around a lot, and I'm like, how have I never seen this before? But
it's on. Believe it or not, I think that video is from Whatever It Takes. Dude.
Yeah, the place will be rocking. Yeah, I'm telling you, this town's buzzing. But even
the concrete will shake. I'm going to tell you right now.
Oh, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be awesome.
I went to every postseason in 07, 08, 09, 10, and 11. Any home game, I was there.
Yeah,
I've been lucky enough to say I went to every postseason. But I look, as a father who has, I have a 20-year-old, 13-year-old, and 7-year-old. I always tell people, 1993, I was 10 years old. That's when my sport.
You was only 10?
Yeah.
Wow.
I was only 7.
I'm older.
Yeah, that's when
dude. I was cutting class to go to games, man.
Well, that's when I really got to sit down. Like I got to feel for the postseason. I'm around my family. I'm like, whoa, what is this? I like it, and I want more.
Listen, I went to a ton of Eagles games when I was, my teenage years and growing up and everything. I never felt the vet shake so much as the night.
Blue Jays.
Yeah, I never felt the old vet shake as much as it did was the night we beat Atlanta in Game 6.
Yeah,
that place shook.
Yeah, I always tell people, and even I had this conversation with Baldy, and he disagreed with me, but I'm telling you, postseason baseball is the base of all the 4 major sports. That's the best to me, because every pitch and everything, you're on the edge of your seats. You're
not mine.
I'm
gonna be real straight up with you. There is no better postseason than opening round of the NHL playoffs.
Well, yeah,
the NHL playoffs. I love baseball.
I've had this conversation with people. There's just some about
opening round.
There's just some about playoff hockey.
Hockey, dude. By the second game, those teams hate each other. So can you imagine by a 7 game?
See, that's the thing is you're absolutely right. Things get chippy. They can actually battle it out that way. I'm not going to say one's better than the other, but I just don't like how people look past it. I mean,
yeah, right.
The NFL's cool because it's do or die. There's no second game, third game, or whatever.
Right.
It's do or die, and you know what?
But I like the series because, like you said, over about you just get chippy, you get nasty. Yeah. Same thing with
my
baseball,
wife's like,
though.
you got to stop cursing like that in front of the kids. I'm like, tell them to get the hell out the room. if Phillies are in the playoffs and I'm here, I have to stay here. Then let me go to St. Louis or get the hell out of the room.
Listen, my son will tell you. He's learned words from me. I've actually come up with words
Well,
Watch it.
my wife's watching it, and they're stroking Pujols, they're stroking Molina, Wainwright, all these guys. Which, by the way, were all there the last time we were in the playoffs 11 years ago.
I thought it was great. Because you know what? Yeah, and I look at it like as Pat. I look at this as revenge and I thought it was great because you know what? Our best pitcher, okay, our ace sent them home this time.
Yeah.
And we beat them 2-0. So now their fan base has got to sit here and wonder now as they rebuild. Because I'll tell you what, I'm not sold on that manager of theirs. That manager was just.
Well, I blamed if you watch the fighting finals from the first game with me.
Oh yeah, he was horrible.
I put a lot of that loss on them. How do you keep a guy out there? I mean, they took out their starting pitcher, 75, 80 pitches.
Yeah, how do you take it?
I
He's
mean,
a
he
beast.
could have won at least one, and he was controlling the game. He could at least went one more inning, which would probably been the world of a difference. Maybe not. And then you get a guy in there who's struggling, and you leave him in there. You got
they didn't get nobody up.
Yeah.
Can you imagine if Thompson would have did that here, or Girardi would have just left somebody out there? Like we would have been.
Oh yeah, and everybody like, oh no, don't extend his contract.
And I'm going to get to this. So our man Sean Kilrain goes, Hoskins needs to move down the lineup. No need to put him in it too. Put Baum there. So look, we'll talk about that lineup coming up because we're going to have to break this all down facing this Braves team, this nasty meat of a Braves team that they got.
Scared?
No, scared. No, because I'm with you, Mike. I think we're going to catch a sleeping giant. I think that like you said, they're well rested. The Phillies are coming in, fighting, swinging.
The John checking in.
The John checking in. Catch him every Monday night at 6 p.m.
Fuji too. What's
the Food Star. Yes. He's going to be on the Sully on tomorrow, I believe, as well.
Yeah, he'll be on.
Was he on the Sully
Good morning,
spot?
fellas.
Yeah,
go Birds. Go
They'll have a
Giants.
good time with the food. He's always.
He's always welcome to the jacuzzi. So
really, what? Stop. Jacuzzi, Red Rockets.
Oh man, I'm excited. Can I be at? But
bro, coffee.
Is a quarter down?
No.
Okay, but look, I'm with you though. I think we're going to catch a sleeping giant. I think they're well rested. They're not going to come out hot and swinging, and I think the Phillies are going to catch them off guard.
Well, that's what you have to hope for game one.
You have to hope for
if you could split the game
down there.
You're
in good shape.
Now let me ask you back to Sean Kilrain's comment about
switching
up the lineup. I do agree. Like Rob Thompson, and if you heard him on that press game, Friday, he has these guys poised. Like when just little things are just getting, rattled on this thing. And just like Joe Mark said yesterday, and you catch him on passing up, he said, this team is just poised. They're just, they will fight you for every inning and every inch. Like this team has no quit in them. And just like I said, it looked like it was getting hairy on Friday. This team played great small ball, and that was due to Segura and Baum.
Yeah, tell me that he did not come up clutch.
Yeah.
And
you knew exactly what he was doing by his first swing.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You knew it.
Because you're like sitting there, dude, you just swung at like a ball 5 feet off the strike zone.
Yeah, and then
you knew what he was trying to do. He was trying to punch it that way. They should have been right. I don't know.
Mm-hmm.
But I think you need to move Reese down in the lineup. I really do. I think you need to move him down. I think you need to swap him in.
Move him out for a game. If he go, all right, let me scenario. They go in Atlanta, they leave this alone, maybe move a couple guys up and down the lineup, but leave the players alone. And if he goes another offer, do you take him out, let Bierling play?
Yeah.
At this point, I'm starting to wonder, like, no offense, but
you know what
I can't make that move yet.
I'm not saying game one, but if he goes game one, he's 0 for 4, 0 for 5.
Yeah, then you got to sit him for game.
Well, that's like I said, because I feel like that's a catch-22 with Schwarber. I mean, he's like I said, he's the NL king in home runs. However,
when he comes off the bat, at least there's the fear of the bomb.
Yeah,
fear like he's going to be good for a possible.
And he's driven in runs. Reese has done nothing, and I'm a Reese supporter. I love Reese.
Well, this is I liked Reese. I would love Reese to stay at Philly,
but it's not going to happen.
But it's not going to happen. And I honestly, at this point, I'm over it. Like I'm good. Your inconsistency is what it is. It might be best. It's like one of those things. It just may be best for you to move on and go somewhere else and extend your career.
Yeah, Reese is a DH. At this point now, he's a DH.
No.
So, I mean, but getting back to the lineup, yeah, you do have options there, man. Like, you can take Reese out of the lineup, like Al says, take him out for a game. You can move Bohm over to first, and you put Sosa.
I don't know. I think I leave. Yeah, I
Well,
get
no,
you.
Bohm's a natural first baseman.
Yeah.
He's a natural. So it's
I
not
know.
like
I just the only reason I worry about that once again it's that creatures of habit. You move him over for one game and you move him back to third for another game. I don't want to be bumping him around like with his consistency.
so you would just take Reese out and put Veerling at first?
Maybe. I mean, Veerling is very.
Why don't you give
I'll put
JT?
Remuto.
Give JT a break.
Do you want
Throw him.
do you want Stubbs bat in the lineup?
Yes, Stubby can hit, man.
I mean, I'd rather have Veerling. He's been more clutch than any of the guys on the bench.
Right, but if you put Veerling in,
I don't want to see Derek Hall. I already had that question asked me last night.
But, well, no, is
Derek
he even
Hall-
is he on the roster? Is he on the postseason? I don't even think he's on the post.
Probably not, but they're asking me that they want Hall, and I said he was in some big moments and he looked scared. So he's not ready. Still got a
He's
lot
not
of
ready,
lot
but
more-
he will be.
a lot of marinating to do.
But my question is, if you do take Reese out, who do you put there? Who do you put at first base?
Who's on your bench? So you got Sosa, Veerling. Who else is on the bench?
No, I'm sorry. I'm putting Stott at catcher, and I'm putting Remuto at first. That's my
Oh,
only
Stubbs,
move.
you mean? Not
Stubbs.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You
Yeah.
would have to do that. You would have to put JT at first and put Stubbs behind the plate, and Stubbs would be your ninth batter.
Yeah.
So that's if you want to save Sosa for later on in the.
I mean, which is great. You pull out, not that you had to, but you pull out Reese, who is, Reese, Bohm, who's been doing very well, by the way. I keep pointing that out. He had some game-winning grabs in that game last night.
Yeah, dude, he was spectacular.
I should say game-changing, because if he doesn't get that, it's just different ball game. But being able to pull him out when you need some speed on the base paths, and then not having a defensive liability, like losing a Gold Glover in there, that's huge. That's huge.
And just another thing too, since we're talking about the series, right? How small did Pujols, Molina?
Well, they
hold on.
No, go
Pujols, Molina, Goldschmidt, and Arenado. How small did they come up?
very.
If I'm a Cardinals fan today, like to me, Goldschmidt going and winning the MVP is all for naught, because when the time mattered for him, he did nothing.
Somebody else won the MVP last year, didn't even make the postseason. So,
Good point.
that's how I look at it.
Good point.
I mean,
Remember,
regular
MVP,
season,
MVP is for the
regular season.
It's for the regular season. It is what it is. But no, you're absolutely right. Arenado and Goldschmidt were 1 for 15.
1
1 for 15 with 6 strikeouts.
And I think Pujols and
he might not.
Yachty were like 3 for something.
He might be able to. I think they said something. He can opt out of his. Arenado can opt out this year.
I would love to get
You're
him
gonna lose
here.
Molina. You're gonna lose Arenado. I mean, yeah, it's a rebuild. But I'm not worried about St. Louis. They always seem to find talent somewhere.
They got a good system.
They're
Them and
the
the Dodgers.
Yankees of the NL.
No, yeah, them and the Dodgers. I feel like if you're on the Dodgers and you pluck one of the Dodgers, like they already have somebody waiting to come up and take your spot. Like the Dodgers is just unreal, and the Braves too.
Right.
Like Braves are like that with the pitching staff.
Yeah, like
All right, so on the bench, it's Maton, Sosa, and Stubbs. That's it. And Veerling. Sorry, and Veerling. There's your 4 bench pieces. So, I mean, you would either put Veerling in at first, or like you guys said, move Remuto to first.
I'm telling you, they would move JT to first.
I don't know, man. The only problem with that is, listen, I'm really weird. Like I'm talking out both sides of my mouth in this situation.
Right.
Changing anything drastically could change a lot of things. You change one thing to fix one problem, but you might cause 5 other ones.
Mm-hmm.
But it's just that's why I'm looking for the easiest way to remove Reese without removing anybody else from their current position.
I just think the easiest thing for them to do is to take Reese out of the second hole. Take him out of that 2 hole.
Maybe that's where you
drop
start.
him back.
Maybe you drop him to 6 or 7. You drop him 6 or 7.
I would drop him 6 or 7. How about I've been saying this now for like the last month.
So what do you flip flop? Him and Bohm.
Him and Bohm. Flip him.
Well, once again, Bohm's doing well in that position.
Yeah, but you know what? Bohm was hitting when he was batting second too.
Right.
You can put Bohm anywhere in that lineup. He's going to produce. You know what I mean?
You know who else I'm getting a little sick and tired of watching? Really not produced either is Castellanos.
Yeah,
like where are you, dude? Like this guy.
There's another guy you can put a Veerling in very easily.
Yeah, that's something.
You're not going to do that.
They're
paying him way
listen,
too much.
I'm wondering,
and that's
I'm wondering if Dombrowski's taking a look at this, and I would not be surprised. Just thinking outside the box here. If they try to move Castellanos next year, I could see them trying to do that.
Well, like I said,
I mean, what's he on a 4-year?
4-year, $100 million deal. Somebody will sign him.
I mean, the guy can still produce playing small ball, but like I said, I don't know if I think he's still battling with an injury, but I mean, it's no excuse. You're in the line. You should be producing. But like Joe Sullivan here says too, extremely excited about the dub, but are you guys concerned about all these missed opportunities? And that's leaving these guys on, on base and not producing, guys in scoring position and not producing. Like,
But dude, that's all over baseball, though. I mean,
Well,
it's not just the
St.
Phillies.
Louis. St. Louis had a lot more than we did. And that's why we ended up
that's
winning the
true.
series.
St. Louis had a
But
lot.
the Braves are not a team to do that very often.
no,
We just gotta hope they're cold.
And
they
you
make
like
just
us
as more mistakes
producing
than we do.
in the road where. And one thing about Reese, he is a better home player than he is a away player. Like he plays better at home than he
Yeah,
does.
but we can't have
We can't have that.
We can't have that. Like I
Then
feel
don't let them play away.
I feel like yeah,
put somebody else in.
but I feel like the thing that's going to help Reese is and they haven't done it all year. Like common sense, if you're struggling at the top of the lineup, if he's one of your better players, you drop him in the lineup. Drop him in the lineup where he has less pressure on him because we've already seen it. When Reese has less pressure on him, he produces. And I think he would produce a lot better batting 6th or 7th.
I totally agree with you, Mike, because even when the game that I went Al hooked up with, like when I saw the first 3 batters, Schwarber, Reese, and Harper, I'm like, damn, that's like 3 easy outs. But luckily he got hot that day. That was his best day of the year. But again, like that's scary. Like you said, put him down the lineup where he doesn't have that pressure. Put him there, and then start producing. Like start mixing and matching. Oh, my man Rob Hefner, you can catch him every Saturday night at 8 p.m. on the Outbox Network talking some Vegas sports. He said, "What's up, fellas? Live from Vegas. Ring that Phillies. Ring that bell." Yeah, dude.
I just got one thing, just to sidetrack a little bit. Did you see the World's Coming to an End Bowl last night?
No.
It was Notre Dame versus BYU. So you had the Catholics versus the Mormons in Sin City. I called it the end of the World Bowl.
Yeah.
wow.
I heard about that. I just didn't watch it.
Yeah. So
Me neither.
I was gonna say, anybody know who won?
I think Notre Dame did. They were ahead.
All the Irish people should be happy then.
Should be.
But yeah, like I said, back to this game, I was just, like I said, how can you not be excited for what you saw? Harper setting the tone. Nola just playing lights out, 6 Ks. Like I said, Mr. Sub-Zero, I was like, because he was freezing dudes at the plate. Kyle Schwarber with the sack fly. And, like you said, the biggest piece is the meat of the Cardinals offense just did not come through. And if you're waking up this morning like we did 11 years ago, now you're concerned. Now you're thinking about rebuilding. You don't know where this franchise can go from there, even though we know they're pretty good.
Right about now, I think Ryan Howard has a blown Achilles.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm pretty sure he probably had one jumping off his couch last night. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I was listening to Rob Ellis on WIP before the game when I was driving home from here, and he had our perfect closer on there, and he said he's ready. He said I feel like I'm back out there again. He's like he's excited because it's been that long. He's like I've been watching plenty of postseason baseball, just not Phillies yet. And he goes, it's exciting. It's funny how it even gets those guys going this many years later.
Victorino tweeted last night too. Victorino was like, "Ring the bell."
And to Austin's point here, goes hard to hope for a guy. He was referring back to Reese Hoskins. Hard to hope for a guy to play well at home. When you're a lower seeded team that's going to be on the road. Well, like I said, he's got a point there. When most of your games are going to be on the road, being a lower seed.
Well, like I said, we'll see what Rob Thompson does.
I don't think he does anything because
I don't think he does anything for game 1. To be honest, I think he leaves.
I think he's going to stay status quo.
If anything moves, it's because it's like righty lefty. If you're trying to heavy ended lefties or whatever, that would be the only reason I see they change anything at this point. But if he goes another big old goose egg again in game 1,
you got to drop him in the lineup.
You got to do something. And
I think if you drop him in the lineup, if he does do an offer and you drop him in the lineup, I think he's going to produce down there. I think it just takes some of the weight off of his shoulders. Like you got to put your best contact hitter right now at number 2, and your best contact hitter right now is Bohm. It's Bohm and Segura, really. Like them two guys are just hitting.
Yeah, so like I said, it's amazing what this team can do, and what if Reese can step up, like Sean Kellery was saying, he needs to step up. And if back to what you guys are saying, if he gives you 0 for 4, at the plate and you lose, yeah, you're going to have to make some moves. I mean, Rob Thompson is just state of where he's at, and he has these guys calm, and I get all that, but it's some
Dude, he's winning at a 70% clip. I mean, if you look at it, 100 games he's managed, he's like got over 70 wins. So obviously the guy's doing something right, and these guys are playing for him. So I mean,
so
No, I think if anything, if there was any doubt in anybody's mind that he wasn't coming back next year, now he's come back now. After this win, they're probably already working out the details right now.
And they should. And they should. It seems like they really play for him,
And that's the thing is they play for him. Listen, look at all the knocks this team had coming into the season. We have no depth. We have no bench pieces. We have no guys in the waiting down in the minors to come up. Our minor league is trash. I mean, you got Stott coming up this year, who's I think
Painter's on the way.
Yeah, I mean maybe there might be another year before he fully plays, but I think he's here next year.
I think he's here next year.
He's part of the year. Vierling is another guy who's stepped up. I mean, there is guys. We kind of poo-poo it, and they made some changes there, and you're already starting to see differences here. You saw a team that wasn't a team. You saw a team that was a bunch of guys who had clout mixed together with some other guys, and that's what they had when they had Joe Girardi. And he left, and I think Joe Girardi was just like he was riding and dying with his idea. If they're going to get better, it's going to get this way. He was unwilling to make any changes.
Well, like I said, this is a Phillies amazing story. Opening day, you just take it for what it is, and then you find yourself late May, you're 12 games out. Again, you think it's your typical normal Phillies year. It's going to be mediocre. You thought that. Yeah. Well, I mean, listen,
thought that.
Listen, I don't blame any. But I don't blame anybody who had that feeling. Like when I said people coming into the season, like I had right. This is going to be a postseason year. I thought with the additions of Schwarber and Castellanos, and at that time a healthy Harper and Segura and all that stuff. I really thought this team had a good trajectory to getting there, especially with the additional wild card spot. I thought it was almost a no-brainer. The fact that they've overcome all these injuries, the fact that they've kept their head afloat, and guys have stepped up. You had Schwarber, who was call him Mr. June, July.
It's like they took turns.
Yeah, Romuto.
Yes.
Romuto. Everybody was ready to sell him for a bag of balls.
Right, and then he gets hot.
He's been the most consistent hitter since August. Even Nick had his moments for a short time before he got injured. That was untimely for him, I think, to be honest with you. That he was really getting hot and doing well, and then he got hurt. Yeah. And a rib injury, man, that's no joke because that's everything. That's throwing, swinging, running.
That's a core.
I mean, if somebody tells you a funny joke, it hurts.
Right. And then, like I said, it's just an amazing story to me. I mean, again, 12 games out, then you get on this hot streak, then you lose your MVP from last year, and you still ride the hot wave. And to me, like you said, you dealt with all the injuries, and you're still here. You're here. And I think, because to me, if you're looking at an MVP, it's got to be Alec Bohm. And Nola. And Nola stepping
Hold
up.
on. You're saying just for this series, right?
Just for a series. And I think throughout the season, I mean, like I said, I think everyone, like you guys alluded to, everyone took turns being that guy.
And you know what's funny, Pat? You bring up about what went on with the Phillies and how everything went. My friend Mike, who's a San Diego Padres fan, lives in San Diego, said to me yesterday, he said, if your Phillies win the World Series, he said it's one of the greatest stories I've ever.
I always said the 2017 Eagles is a movie. If you break that down, like the DVD, like the Eagles DVD, it's very exciting. Yes. You know what I mean? Here's a team that went 13-3, but there was so much drama, twists and turns, and all that stuff throughout the whole thing. And like you lose your star left tackle, you lose your star running back, you lose your quarterback.
Middle linebacker.
Like, you lose a lot of key players, and the fact that you can still keep that first spot, squeak out a game against Atlanta, and even when we get past that game, you're like, man, we put no fight up against Atlanta. You thought let's be honest, we thought that Minnesota game was going to be a tough run.
I thought Minnesota. Yeah, I thought we were going to beat Minnesota, but I didn't think it was going to be the route that it was.
Yeah,
like I remember where I was watching that game, and it was just. The place was bedlam.
I was supposed to be at the game. Stupid ear infection.
Like I said, but back to that run, like like Al said, it was amazing because you said you're losing pieces left and right. You lose an MVP quarterback,
second year
quarter-
coach.
I mean, and
Yeah.
again, you're
Yeah,
left with
remember
that-
everybody wanted to get rid of Doug after his first year. Remember that?
right? And then you had that one sloppy game with Foles up in New York, and it was like, oh, dude, I don't know if this.
No, the game in New York, he was money. You're talking about the game he had on Christmas night.
yeah.
I was there.
Against it was freezing
Raiders.
cold against the Raiders.
A bad
And-
Raider. It wasn't a good Raiders
team
team either.
And yeah, the Eagles should have lost that game.
Yeah,
Right,
there
and
was,
then-
that right there was the first Edge of Philly sports outing when it was just four of us.
Really?
I had 8 tickets to the game. Each of us brought our sons and whoever else we wanted to bring.
It was freezing.
It was Christmas. It was Christmas night too. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh, the wife's not gonna like this.
No.
But you know what? Listen, I don't know about you guys, I'm an Italian guy, so 8:00 on Christmas is like midnight to other people. Like
Yeah.
we're way past dinner, we're way past
Yeah.
everything.
Hey.
She's like, yeah, go. I don't care. I'm gonna go home and sleep.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay.
Yeah,
You know?
and then to me, I said if we get past Atlanta, we'll be okay. And like you said too, Mike, I had a feeling we were going to beat Minnesota, but I didn't expect spank, and they gave
Listen,
a spank.
Getting back to this Phillies.
Yeah.
And Braves thing. All right. To me, this has, and the only reason why I'm saying this is the way that how wacky and wild this season has been for the Phillies. This has a 93 feel for me. It doesn't have an 07 feel. Okay. A lot of people going into this baseball postseason kept saying, this reminds me of a 07 feel, like we're just getting the quarter. No, this has a 93 feel for me. Everybody's counting them out, but people are looking and saying we don't want to play them, and that's kind of how it was in '93. I mean, I know you guys are a little younger than me, but like I remember, I was at the doubleheader against the Padres that ended at 4:40 in the morning. My brother was here; he would tell you I got in trouble. He actually had to bail me out.
At 4:40 in the morning.
Mitch Williams got the game-winning hit off Trevor Hoffman.
Okay.
Yes, I was there. What happened was it was raining, so the first game didn't end until 1:00 in the morning because of all the rain delays.
Oh my God.
So
Wow.
we stayed. Sep to stop running. So I was like, well, Sep to stop running. I lived in Port Richmond. I'm like, Sep to stop running. I might as well just stay here and watch the end of this game. It literally ended at 4:40 in the morning. I got in my door, dude. My mom looked at me and goes, I hope you had a good time. She goes, because you're grounded. And I told her, I was like, look, I was at the Phillies game. I'm not lying. She thought I was lying. She thought I was seeing, being a 17-year-old kid. He told my brother, actually goes, wow, man.
Chasing Coos.
Yeah. And, my brother actually told her the truth. He was like, oh, no, Mom. He's like, that game didn't end until 4:45. And, like, my mom actually, like, felt like she felt bad because I was honest with
And
her.
that was before cell phones.
Phones. Yeah. You had to go to a payphone and call. And I was not. I looked at my mom.
Listen,
I
you
said,
didn't get a payphone in Philly even back then because it was covered in urine at best.
Yeah.
yes. Even at the vet. So,
Yeah.
like,
I think they were actually made of urine.
Yeah. Like I said, so I was at that doubleheader. Literally a week later, my brother gives me tickets, right, for fireworks. They're playing the Dodgers. The game goes 20 innings. I looked at my mom. My mom goes, I don't care. She's like, the Phillies, she goes, if you're going to be late, you call me. I was smart this time. 9th inning called. I said, Mom, they're going to extra innings. I said, I'm still at the game. She's like, okay. She goes, thanks for the phone call. You're good. So at least I kind of got around that. But this team has that vibe.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to give them credit. Nobody's going to count them in, but they're not. They're the team that nobody wants to play. I can look, even with the Mets having the success they have against us, I guarantee you they don't want to see the Phillies
And
for the NLCS.
I'm telling you, the Braves were cheering for the Cardinals big time yesterday. They wanted the
And
Cardinals to win
and
this
if you
so
look
bad.
at the season series between us and the Braves, it wasn't really that far. Really, it was just the last
that last
2 series.
That last sweep hurt us. Yeah.
yeah, like I said, to me, and we, as us, all of us, we were paying attention to
The
this team.
royal we.
Yeah, we pay attention to this team day in, day out. The national people are not paying attention to us, and that's the best thing. Like, they don't have us on the radar. We are going to catch. I think we're going to catch this team sleeping. And
Devereaux couldn't agree more
Mike.
with me. Huh?
Yeah, so let me ask you a question. Like, what is your big, looking prediction? What is your big takeaway? What did the Phillies have to do game one?
Game one. Listen, they got to do what they did to the Cardinals.
You got to keep doing.
You got to neutralize. Was it Riley? You got to neutralize him. You got to neutralize Acuna. Keep him off the base paths. Throw strikes and let your team. Listen, 2 things Wheeler and Nola did. They let the guys behind them make the plays.
And that means they're going to pitch better just because they're going to be looser. When you have to feel you have to throw a unhittable strike every time, or some lollipop thing that they're going to just pop up out and then and Sky out. Now your repertoire shrinks. You know, when they walk in, guys like Wheeler and Nola, when they walk into a game, they have a repertoire this big. But if they don't, if that defense isn't what they think it is behind them, that window shrinks.
Yeah.
And then now it's like, imagine that strike zone's shrinking now. That's where they're at.
Can I ask a question too? Do you guys? I mean, do you maybe start Bailey Falter game 2 instead of Wheeler? Give them an extra rest.
Well, if he's, I don't. If he's
I mean,
on
the kid's been a stopper for us.
if he's on enough of a rest, I let him go.
Okay.
Here's my thing: is like if it was a too soon game, it was Aaron Nola, I'd be like, all right, fine. Like if Aaron Nola didn't get his full 5 days in between, I'd be like, fine, put Bailey Falter in. But if he had, if Wheeler pitched on Friday, that means if you go 5 days, you got Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday would be a 5th day, or you wait till he comes back and you have him and Nola go Saturday, Friday, and Saturday.
That's what I'm saying.
Because Ranger, I'm guessing
Ranger's starting.
Yeah.
Well, he's going to get the nod. But my thing with him is, I think the extra rest may help Ranger. You know what I'm saying? And there you go. Play smart and everybody hits.
Yeah.
We got to bring that back. I don't know if you're going to the game on Wednesday or I'm sorry,
Thursday.
No,
Friday.
Thursday.
No,
Or
Friday.
Friday.
Here.
If you're going to the game Friday, you got to start everybody hits. I want to hear that again over that because I think that was something that was kind of cool. But getting back to the pitching, if Suarez can go, another thing too, I'm liking the extra days rest too. They have so many options really for game 2. I mean, they can throw Thor out there, and I know not too many people have been impressed with him.
If Thor sees the field, that's not good for us. That's how I look at it right now. If Thor's not from a starting position, the most likely Thor would come in as a long reliever, meaning our other relievers our starting pitching's getting a little shellacked.
Right.
You know, that or they're giving.
But I'm saying
because you don't do a bullpen game in the playoffs, so you're not going to have that.
No. Yeah, but I wouldn't consider him a bullpen though. Like, I mean, even though he hasn't looked like the Thor that we thought we were getting, like he still has playoff experience.
I get that, but he has been not great. You know, and
well, he's good against Atlanta. He's been good against Atlanta.
All right. Well, I
You
guess
know what I
we'll
mean?
find out if you're going to go. I mean, think about this. All right, so if you have Ranger Monday, that means who's Bailey Falters Tuesday?
No, it's either going to be probably going to be Syndergaard, unless they go with Wheeler saying, okay, that's the 5th day, we're going to throw Zach out there, but then you're kind of splitting Zach and Nola up for at home. I would throw. I think the Phillies are going to win. I think.
I wonder if it changes. I wonder if they win game 1. They put those guys
Syndergaard
out.
out.
If they lose game 1 out, you put Wheeler in.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I would do. I mean, I wouldn't give them because I think you have up until 24 hours before you can name a starter.
Something like that.
Right. So I mean, I would just put it out there. Okay, you're going to get this. You're going to get a Ranger. If the Phillies win that game, then you do a combination game because you can have Gibson start or you can have
I don't want
Syndergaard.
Gibson in there.
Listen, you keep saying no, but you got to look at it. If you can get 3 innings out of Syndergaard, okay, and then you bring in Gibson for 3 innings or whatever, you have so many options. You can bring in Bailey Falter for 3 innings. You see what I'm saying? Like those 3, 4, and 5 guys, that's what their roles are going to be now.
Right, I understand.
So I mean, why not give Thor a shot? He's very good against Atlanta. He's got great numbers against Atlanta. Give him a shot. I mean, at least coming home, you got your 2 horses.
Sean should be writing encyclopedias at this point. Only pitchers have 200 plus strikeouts, less than 30 walks in a season. Cy Young, which literally the award's named after, 1904. Cliff Lee in 2012, Kevin Gussman in 2022, and Aaron Nola in 2022. So that's like
I said, it's going to be a tall order though for Ranger Suarez to attack the meat of this Atlanta Braves.
always back to me.
Oh, hello. It's going to be tough for Ranger Suarez to handle that meat of this Braves lineup.
That's not.
You don't think?
No.
But
Rangers
had some success.
Rangers had some major outings
against them.
It's just as of the last, and it's not just Ranger, but as of the last month or 2, 6 weeks or 8 weeks of the season, they all had bad games up and down. And
except for Wheeler. Wheeler was kind of
He had it. He was just not
Or
there
no,
for a while.
no. If we flip
Real quick
Yeah.
before we do something, because we kind of forgot about this in the beginning of the show. Dolan's Bar, 23 Sellers Avenue, right in Ridley Park, which I will be there. I know Mike Laurel will be there later.
Yes, I will be there.
A good reason to come up today is the Ridley Fall Festival. The whole downtown
Yes.
section there. There's like a car show, I believe, on one over the other side. But they have vendors, foods.
So parking's
the
going to be at a
game will
premium.
be on outside, so it's going to be a beautiful day. If you want to drink outside and watch, as well as go inside. They have the outback, the inside, and the front. I'll be right out front with my boy Spaz, who you guys have seen on the network before. He'll be there. Mike will be there with friends. It's going to be a good time. It's one of the most busiest times for them. Former Philly Mickey Morandini was there last night, hanging out, watching a playoff game. How awesome is that? Like for guys like us, like you can sit there and go, "Yeah, I watched the Phillies playoff for the first time in 11 years." Oh, by the way, I was hanging out with Mickey Morandini.
You know what's funny? Believe it or not, Mickey Morandini was actually a special guest referee for a Damon Feldman collaboration. Okay, and
He has worked with PJ, so this all makes sense.
Okay, so you have them two, and my buddy actually did a boxing match with the guy Chuck, who's got all the tattoos on him, an Eagles fan, older guy. My buddy, my old tag partner Billy, he's like 6'6". He came in as the New York Giant, wore a mask and a celebrity boxing, and Mickey was the I was giving him crap throughout the whole time. Mickey was like, I had him throw me out and everything. It's great.
And don't forget David R. Cherry at the Cherry Firm. That's cherryinjurylaw.com. Workers' comp, motor vehicle, personal injury, criminal law. 610-565-0300. That number again is 610-565-0300. And don't forget phillysportstrips.com. All the away games and more. If you can't make an away game, home games are at the Navy Yard. All different things. Plus, not just Eagles. Philly spring training is already lined up. Union trips to Nashville to watch the Flyers, even if you want to.
That's right.
Whatever it is, they have
Flyers.
you covered. phillysportstrips.com. And don't forget, guys, the coverage continues today. So there'll be no Fightins final today because the Fightins have finalized the Cardinal series, and they won't be back in action until next week against Atlanta. But don't worry, we have a big matchup. Another set of Cardinals out in Arizona need a good old-fashioned ass whooping. And the Eagles are looking to go 5-0. And we have you covered with Eagles Game Day Live with pregame, halftime, and postgame, presented by the Paint Lines and Edge of Philly collaboration. It has been awesome. The three of us were actually down at South House last week.
Yes.
What a great time. And thank you to South House once again for having us, as always.
Yeah, that was a great time. That was a great time last week. I had a blast.
But look, I think the Phillies could do it. I think they're going to take care of business. I'm feeling good about this team. I might be having the red sunglasses on, the red pom-poms on, whatever you want to call me, Homer. But look, it is what it is. I like what I see from this Phillies team. Again, I didn't have not 1 ounce of scare in this series against the Cardinals. They showed up big. I think they're going to go down and land.
That's bullshit. You had scare at the beginning of the first game. That ninth inning.
Oh, well,
yeah.
I was biting my nails.
But the point is with that is there was plenty of scare, but the fight was there, and that's the major point to take away from this. That first game, that should have been a Cardinals win.
Yeah,
there's no reason they shouldn't have won that game.
And like you said, you're waking up today, and everyone in St. Louis, that's their bread and butter is that Cardinals team, and now you're
what
just
happened to
waking
the
up.
Rams?
They went back home.
But anyway, listen. Overall, the landscape of Philadelphia sports right now, it's a beautiful place. But we have a Phillies team that's playing red hot. We have an Eagles team that's 4-0. And believe it or not, for you guys, I know a lot of people don't catch in or check in, but we do have a Unions team that's getting a first-round bye that's looking like to make some noise. They didn't make too much noise down in Charlotte. But again, usually with Jim Kirk coaching that team, they are going to start thumping around. But let's get back to the Birds now. Let's talk some Eagles football because, like Al alluded to earlier, and he made a great graphic, it's time to take out all the Cardinals. So, and that's like I alluded to this episode, this is the Cardinal Sin because, we took care of one Cardinal, it's on to the next. And with this Cardinals team that hasn't had a win since last year at home, 0-7 at home. This Cardinals team stinks. They play from behind. Now, let me ask you guys, and I'll start with you. Is this a trap game?
Listen, every game from here on out, in my eyes, can be a trap game, right? I mean, you can look for every scenario to make this a trap game. Yeah, going 4-0 is a tall task. Going 5-0 is an even taller task. I'm not worried.
Yeah.
I fear no Kyler Murray. I don't understand. Like after last, like we were doing the post game show, and everybody's like, "Oh, next week's gonna be the real test." I think last week was a bigger test than anything. Working in those weather conditions, working against a top tier run defense, working against a guy who knows you intimately in Doug Peterson. I don't see Cliff Kingsbury does not scare me. Kyler Murray does not scare me. These guys, if you look at the stats in this first 4 games for them, they don't score in the first half, rarely, if any, at all. It took, again, for the play against the Carolina crap Panthers for them to get anything going into the fourth quarter and win that game. I'm not sitting here going, I'm walking away with a win. This isn't easy. You guys can dial this one in. No. But one thing from this team, just like I was saying the other team, plenty of fight in them, and they're playing each game like it's the first game. But I do not fear Kyler Murray. I think they will keep him off guard, off balance, and even if he tries some heroics at the end of the game, it won't be enough.
I agree, Mike.
I'm not scared of the Cardinals. I think we're going to thump them. Like I think we're going to their house and we're going to put a beating on them today. Like
Walloping.
I major because one thing Kyler Murray loves to do, he loves to turn the ball over. And let's keep it like people keep saying, "Oh well, this will be a test for the Eagles." Well, guess what? It's a bigger test for the Cardinals because they haven't faced a defense like the Eagles yet. You know what I mean?
I agree.
And I'll tell you what, their defense hasn't faced an offense like the Eagles yet.
I totally agree. And
so I mean, looking at this, I see this game getting ugly and out of hand real quick.
yeah, and like I said, they're always playing catch up on again. They got Marcus Brown. We know that's Kyler Murray's go-to target, but again, these previous games, every one of these quarterbacks had a go-to target. And guess how much they produced for? Nothing, not much. Not
Yeah, you got Bradbury on one side,
Slay on the
Slay
other.
on the other. Hollywood Brown can Hollywood all he wants, but who else is going to pick up the slack?
I will say this: Zach Ertz has become Murray's go-to guy.
Yeah,
if you watch the game,
anybody hear a little bit of the shade that Brandon Graham threw at Zach Ertz? A little bit. It's like kind of like a ribbing. Well, I'm not going to get into it too much.
I didn't.
But I actually have it queued up here from our show.
Mm-hmm.
Actually, it was originally from Football Stories. I'll give him credit because he was in the locker room to get it. So Al Thompson over at Football Stories, give him credit for it. He was talking about Kyler Murray, but he throws a little Zach Ertz shade in here. Ready?
What I spent on last year. Right? We just gonna play with a spirit. Got to go up. He can definitely hurt us by extending plays, but we got and getting us all tired.
How do you seen Zach Ertz this week? Seems like every week you're seeing former coach and teammate. What's your recollections of Ertz?
We know he's a great route runner. He's just one of those guys that I know he's not blocking any of us. not to him, but I'm just saying we know him just like he know us. So, but on film, you see they do a little switch up. He blocks here and there, but I think that we know Zach definitely is a possession tight end, and he's gonna go out there and run some good routes. So we gotta make sure we stop him.
You gotta love BG. You gotta love him, man.
Oh, that's great.
I said like it was definitely shade. I don't think you heard him backtrack a little. Or maybe I shouldn't have said it that way.
No, that was great. You should have said it that way because we've been saying it for years. So, but yeah, I want to like one guy you got to look out for today. I mean, you thought you had a good game last week, Hassan Reddick.
Yeah.
Radius. You don't think he's going to try and stick it to these guys?
The only thing that makes maybe the sack total a little less this week, I think, is the legs of Kyler Murray. But I think they're going to eat, and I think you're going to see continuation of these sacks piling up. And here's the graphic that Pat was talking about earlier.
I love it. I think that's great.
So the first guys, the Schwarber and Harper, they got it done yesterday. So let's see if the other guys can come in and lock it all down.
Why does Slay look so natural? Whoever put his face on, dude, Al, you did a great job because it looks like they're really in that too.
Yeah.
But I want it to be a perfect weekend. You want to know why? Because I want to 7:30 tonight, and I truly believe this. 7:30 tonight, hate week officially starts for me.
Mhm.
And I'm talking major hate week. Phillies, Braves, Eagles, Cowboys. And like I said, I think they're going to. I think
Well-
they're steamrolling the Cardinals today.
I think I mentioned it last night. I don't know if I did it on the air or not, but our boy Dom Lewis, he pointed it out. You got a lot of hate week coming up. You got divisional rivals in the Atlanta Braves take on the Phillies in the NLCS. You got Eagles, Cowboys, of course,
Flyers,
and
Devils.
yeah, and then Flyers, Devils. So
Yeah.
there's a lot of
That's why I said hate
animosity.
week.
Yeah,
Hate week,
A
man.
lot of animosity, but yeah, back to this Eagles game, man. Like like I said, I'm feeling like I said, I don't believe in the trap game because I think the Eagles bring it every weekend. They bring and like Al said earlier, like last week they got punched in the mouth early, and Dougie thought he had to figure it out, and you gotta give Jonathan Gannon, he adjusted, he came up with some schemes, and they shut it down. And the Cardinals don't really have a run game, like they don't. So their point of attack is probably going to have to go aerial, and I don't just like I said, they're going to shut that all down.
They
tonight
can
in the
run it a
second half.
little bit. I mean, they got Connors, the running back.
Yeah.
Give the Flyers some love right here, Matty B. What am I wearing?
Matt,
What am I wearing?
Now let's talk 4 years from now, and then we'll talk Flyers. So
Don't pay him no mind.
no,
You'll see him dressing up like Gritty if the Flyers are having a good season.
anybody see that from WWE last
Yes,
year?
the
WWE
damn
was in the
Miz.
house.
No,
Damn it.
I stopped watching WWE 5 years ago.
Yeah,
Miz.
they
did a promo last night.
our boy Joe Sheeran was actually there.
Yeah, they did a promo in the back where the Miz ran into Gritty. He beats up Gritty, and one of the guys from NXT winds up choking him out, puts him down, and Gritty helps Gritty back up, and Gritty starts, giving him a nice little sock kick. So, yeah, it was a good little stick.
You know what? Good for Miz, man. Good for Miz. He came here and put Gritty over.
Yeah, he did. He did a
Smart
great
move.
job. Great job there. So, but back to this game, though. Like I said, we are feeling. What's your prediction?
I don't think it's close. Pain. Yeah, pain. Yeah. Murray's going to eat the turf a lot today, I think. Even with him being, because for the first time in a long time, dude, we have active linebackers. I think Kyler takes a couple shots from TJ Edwards, man.
They can't play against good teams. Look at the 4 teams they played. They got slaughtered the first game against the Chiefs. He had to come out. They pulled him at the end of the fourth just because they knew they were done. They won against the Panthers and they lost against the Rams.
And they beat the Raiders.
They lost against the Rams, who has a very good defense.
Right.
The Eagles' defense, I feel, is better than the Rams.
Right now, I feel on paper, yeah, Eagles. By the sight test, they have more. Listen, you have Aaron Donald over there and all that stuff.
They have Donald and Ramsey.
Yeah.
That's it.
And just by looking at last week, again,
they only put 12 points up against them. Only the kicker scored against that. But they squeaked one out against the Panthers. Who was the other team they won against? I forget off the top of my head.
I mean, they're 2-2. That whole division stinks. So
No, I will not. I will not go down that road with you. With the whole division stinks. Yes, the Rams are getting drunk.
I think that whole division is 2-2.
Yeah, that's what
it is.
It's
But
hilarious.
it's not that. Listen, San Francisco is a team you need to watch out for. I think they're going to get better as the season goes along.
They always seem to be sneaky good. Like you always look at them at the beginning of the season, like
and they're there.
That's like Jimmy G's like calling card. Like, yeah, it's Jimmy G. He'll do all right.
And then next thing you know, boom, they're in the playoffs.
Yeah, and then they're making a run at the NFC Championship game.
Right. So I mean, I keep a look at the Niners. I'll tell you what, Seattle's not as bad as people thought they were going to be. Geno Smith's playing good for them. As far as the Rams and the Cardinals go, I think the Cardinals are trash, and they're not going to be. The Cardinals ain't going to be able to do nothing until 2 weeks from now when they get DeAndre Hopkins back. That's when you're going to see that offense and that team start to move the ball, because right now everybody's covering Hollywood Brown, so there's no D-Hop there to take some pressure off of that kid.
Well,
So-
look, to me, the whole big picture and if you look at the whole landscape of the NFC, the only team that doesn't scare me, but it's going to give Eagles competition, is the team sitting right behind us with Cooper Rush.
No,
You don't think so?
no,
I mean,
I don't want to jump ahead or look ahead, but that's an ass whooping coming too.
You think so?
Oh, did you not hear Jalen Hurts after the Monday night game against the Vikings?
No.
He's gotten interviewed. The first thing he says is, he said, yeah, he goes, I wanted to make it right. He said, because the last time we were on Monday Night Football, he said, we didn't look so hot. That tells me right there. And if you remember that Monday night game a year ago, remember how the Dallas Cowboys acted? They were trying to run the score up, which was 1. Two, they paid tribute to Tom Landry. Remember when they had the Eagles, the whole offensive line stood up and sat back down? Okay. This was all it was their Ring of Honor night. They were putting Jimmy Johnson in. It was a whole big theatrical show.
Yeah.
Guess what? Jalen Hurts remembered that. And you don't think he don't remember Dak running up and down the field at the last game of the year when they were playing against our fourth string? You know, and like breaking points and everybody's giving them high fives and them jumping the 50 burger on us. Dude, listen, guys that were here from last year, remember that. Jalen Hurts remembers that.
All right,
They are going to bust their ass next week. And I'm saying that a week early.
right. Well, like I said, I don't want to get like you said. I don't want to go too far ahead. But if Cooper Rush goes off on the Rams today, you think he starts against the Birds?
No, they're going to go back to the $40 million quarterback. If Dak's ready to play, that's who you go with.
Right.
Cooper Rush is a backup for a reason.
I don't know. You say that, but you forget who's making these decisions.
Yes.
Trust me.
Yes.
Listen,
That's
I
the only-
understand that.
Listen,
But
any other normal human being,
Yes.
I would agree with
good
you.
morning there, crackpot.
Yeah, that's our boy Dives. That's Mr. Crackpot.
Oh,
there.
my man.
Yeah, what's going on? And you'll be seeing Dives, I'm sure, plenty in your Eagles pre, half, and post time.
But here's the
I'll
thing,
be with
though.
him tonight.
Like, what I know what you're saying, but Jerry's not going to admit to a $40 million a year mistake.
I'm not.
He won't.
Listen, most likely he'll make that call.
And trust me, I want Dak. You want to know why? Because I want all the Cowboy fans. I don't want no excuses.
Oh, yeah.
Which, by the way,
They're already
today-
writing up their excuses.
listen, I think the Cowboys beat the Rams today. That's in LA. I think they beat them.
No.
Oh yeah, yeah. That
Listen,
Rams team is horrible. They can't run.
The defense is what their claim to. It's kept them alive in these games. Like it's not offense at all for Dallas. And the LA, I think, is a very close defense to what they have. I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. But you think they're going to stop Cooper Kupp enough?
Yes.
I don't know.
I mean, Cooper. Trust me, I have Cooper Kupp on my fantasy team. I think he'll get his catches. He may even get a touchdown. But I'll tell you what, I'm not sold on that. I think that Rams team is still. They got a Super Bowl hangover.
I think so too,
Yeah.
but I don't think it happens. I don't think they lose to Dallas.
I do. We differ there. I think Dallas beats them today. I think their defense gets a touchdown.
What's the spread on that game?
Dallas is getting 5, I think, or 6.
Like you said, if they do win, though, like I talked with Matt Klein too, and he's just, and we all know Matt. Matt's a straight up, he doesn't wear the blue pom poms. We know Matt. He even said himself, he's like, if Cooper wins today, you have to put him against Nick Bird. He's like, you got to ride the hot hand. You have to ride the hand. He's like, I know it's not his decision to make, but he said he'd rather see him in there than that.
Right. Well, any smart Dallas fan would say that, but you also going to realize.
I think today will also make that decision easier if they don't do well against the Rams.
Yeah, like if they lose against the Rams,
not just lose, but lose
badly. Like if they lose badly,
like if they can't score points on them.
Yeah, if they lose against the Rams today and the Eagles win, now the Eagles got a 2-game cushion.
Yeah,
against the, you know what I mean? And that looks both. But like I said, I think the Eagles win. You say we're talking about predictions, right? I'm looking at the Birds.
Who comes up big offensively?
I think we have 2 guys come up big.
I think Crockpot's already putting his Dives here's already putting his
AJ Brown.
He's saying 8 to 10 catches, 160 plus yards.
I like it. I like Dives.
Yeah. I think we're going to see the emergence of our boy if he's playing today. I'm hoping Trey Sermon. I like to see Trey get some carries, more carries today.
And there goes Joe Sullivan because Rams offensively ain't that good. Cowboys beat the Rams Super Bowl hangover. Right. That's what Rob Hefner is agreeing with you. I see Ruck having another solid game and Barbara as well. Yeah, that's going to be probably your big defensive players.
I'm going to go offensive player of the game. I'm going to go Dallas Goedert. I'm the only time I'm going to root for Dallas is in Dallas Goedert.
Yes. I'm with you.
Go,
Al.
Dallas, go.
Yeah, I'm with you, Al. I feel like Dallas Goedert is going to be the sleeper of the game. I think he's going to have that, 88 catches, kind of game, 88 yards.
They're going to try to bring as much pressure on that O-line, so that might open up the middle of the field for them. And they're going to cause Shane Steichen's idea is going to try to cause them to make their guys drop back to coverage, and then either have AJ Brown or Devontae Smith or Dallas Goedert, whoever's out there, Quez Watkins, pick them apart.
Let me ask you a question. What do you guys think about Kenny Gainwell coming out of the back today? Grabbing some. I mean, because he's had a few touchdowns this year. He's kind of sneaky good. You know, I think I'm not saying he's going to be my player of the game.
Kenny?
I think
Kenneth, dude.
it's Kenny.
Kenny.
Is
It's
he?
Kenny.
Doesn't he say you can't call him? Oh no, you can't call him Kenneth. He wants Kenny.
Kenny.
It's one or the other. Like he does not like. It's like
I don't
Slay.
care. Look, I could care less.
It's like Slay. Don't like. He'll tell people. He'll tell the media members. It's Slay. If you call him Darius, they'll say it's Slay.
Just leave it there.
Yeah.
But
Leave it at the doorstep.
yeah, but I seriously like. I really do like. I like Gainwell today, and I do. I think I know Boston Scott's still out for this game, right? I believe. Al, is he still out for this game?
Let's see. Give me 1 second. I'll pull up the Eagles in.
There goes Anthony. He goes, Miles Sanders is the player of the game.
I don't think so. I think that
I think they're going to try to shut him down.
They're going to try and shut him down.
Yeah.
After the game they had last week.
Yeah.
And if you take a look too, with the way the Eagles have been throughout the first 4 games, it's been somebody different each game. You know what I mean? Like week 1,
They still, as of yesterday, had him and Kyron Johnson questionable, but the only people they have ruled out right now is Patrick Johnson
and Mailata.
It looks like.
Okay.
Mhm.
So I'm going to go.
Of course, Jake Elliott, because Dicker the kicker's coming up.
Yes.
There's your offensive player to
That's
game.
your new kicker, and you got to go get his jersey because his name's Dicker the kicker.
Well, no, my buddy's
I'll
last name
rock
is
it.
Dicker. And I told him, I said, go buy your jersey while you can, buddy.
I just, like I said, I love what this team's going to be able to do today. Like I said, you're going to open up that secondary of the.
I don't know,
Cardinals.
as Philly fans, we're going to be able to. Do we deserve this?
Yeah.
Do we just?
Yeah.
Like,
How many years
I'm
of
just
years
saying,
of
like,
frustration?
I don't know if my body is going to be able. It's like I'm going to get like it's like having too much sugar. I'm getting diabetes. I'm getting too much.
Yes.
Too much victory in my Philly sports. I don't know if I can handle all
And
that.
that's
look,
good.
Can you imagine if the Flyers win on Thursday night?
Look,
This guy here might end up going.
well, in the hospital.
Streaking.
Yeah. And,
I see Jack Driscoll having a good game.
I think Miles Sanders runs well. The Cardinals' defense line is not good.
Yeah,
This is true. That's my boy Mike.
yeah, like, and I agree with him.
The Eagles are going to beat down that weak D line.
I think so. This is where I'm going to throw it out there. I'm going to say between the 3-headed monster that we have back there, I think our running backs are going to do good. But I'm pulling for my boy Trey Sermon.
I want to see a little extra Trey Sermon.
So do I.
today.
I want to see. As a matter of fact, I think
they got him squared in a little more, knowing that Boston Scott.
And I think Jalen Hurts is going to have a game with his dual threat. I think he's going to have a big game
I think
offensively.
that's an easy. I think you said almost any game at this point, but yeah.
with him, yeah.
I mean, I think he's going to run for some yards, and I think he's going to hit those wheel routes to Dallas Goedert, like we mentioned. I think you're going to find AJ Brown
So what's your prediction?
The final prediction. I think Payne 27-10.
What about you, Al?
32.
Going even
30,
number.
32. 17.
Wow.
Yeah, I'm gonna.
They might get some garbage time points at the end. That's where that's coming from.
I like the Birds big, and
I like it big.
I'm looking at you know what? Heck with it. I'm gonna say 44.
See,
20.
Mr. Croc,
Yes,
Dodge
yes.
knows what I'm talking about. Per the Athletic, against tight ends this season, Cardinals have allowed the second most receptions, 28, and the second most yards, 341. So that's why Dallas. Yeah, that's kind of why I was looking those stats up earlier too. That's why I have Dallas Goedert as my player to game.
Yeah, I just had that
Offensive
feeling.
player to game.
Yeah, like I said, I just have that feeling.
Defensive
that he's gonna be
player
explosive.
game. I'm all right. I'm going to stay with the hot hand. I'm going to go with Hassan Reddick. I think he gets 2 more.
I think it
sacks.
might come from the other side too. It might be a little B to the
BG?
G.
Yeah, I'm telling you, I just can't wait. Like you
Wow.
said, like you said,
Wow. And woo! He is
Al, wow, 50 burger.
he is not kidding. He is going pain.
No, I want to save the
with
50
a little-
burger for next week.
with a little bit more pain. 52-7.
I like
it,
his
man.
thinking.
I like it.
Hey, look, if they put up 50 burger, man, I make joint pat.
Hey, come on down.
We'll be streaking together.
Yes, we are going to hit the Blue Oyster hard.
Yep.
So, but anyway,
Jesus. Jesus, man.
but yeah,
pray
man.
for us. Pray for us.
All right,
Yes.
I'm glad I went to church first. I had
Yeah.
to wash off all the week's sin.
Yeah,
Started off
So,
real good.
like I said, I think the Birds are going to handle the business relatively easy. It's going to be a good day. Like I'm with you out though. Can we handle all this right now? It's looking good.
You and your boy Mike and me are pretty much spot on to each other there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I gave him the 2. He took the 3. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go. So, Look, man,
I'm
we're all
saying
feeling
I
the
said
Eagles win
44-20.
5-0. Did you ever think Eagles were going to be 5-0 out the chute when you looked at?
I don't think anybody ever expects their team to be 5-0.
No, I don't.
And the only team that's undefeated.
Anybody talked about it this year is because of the strength of schedule. Nobody saw Jacksonville being any team to deal with, which they were.
Minnesota, same
They
thing.
thought Minnesota could have been that one. And we're well known for losing game 2 after winning game 1. And they handled them mightily. And then what makes a really good team is, even though Washington's a bad team, I think that victory to me makes me feel how good this team is because even divisional games, when they're bad versus good teams, they're always
divisional.
close.
Yeah.
Now, listen, let's shift gears a little bit because like I said, we're talking
Joe
Phillies.
Sullivan says 31-17.
There you go. I like it. Everyone's feeling nice. There you go, Rob Hefner. Woo!
I'm way too confident in this game. I think the Eagles win by at least 2 scores, 37-17. Dive is already giving it out early. He's giving it out before the pregame show. Gotta love it.
I love it. So let me ask you guys. Like I said, we're talking Birds. We're feeling good about the Birds. We're feeling good about the Phillies. However, our hockey team is going to start next week. The team of all 5 teams that look like they're not going to be any competitive. Is there any signs of optimism here? Is there any signs that we can feel good? I don't. I mean, I see you're all fired up, and I listen.
You have to be.
I'm trying as hard as I can.
You got to think about it.
Listen, you're going to watch it. I watched bad
know
sports
I
my
am.
entire life
Right.
from the Phillies.
Yes.
fans.
We're going to watch
Phillies
it anyway,
standpoint.
but you got to look at it like this. It's a new beginning. Yeah, I know Fletcher's still here doing it, but you got Tortorella coming in, which, by the way, we weren't sold on.
Yes.
But I will say this. After hearing the man talk, it has seemed to me that the Tortorella that I didn't like, he's now beyond that. Like, he's moved on and kind of, I guess with age kind of calmed down a little bit. Because the Tortorella I didn't like and I thought we were getting is not, who this guy is
So far.
So far.
Wait till they lose 8 out of 10 games, and let's see how he acts then.
Well, I think he knows that coming in here.
Well,
But
listen,
I also think he's going to get the best out of these young players.
Even if unless he thought he was drinking some Kool-Aid, Fletcher sold him. I doubt that much. Listen, I think the only thing you can do right now in this Flyer season is, it sounds so cliche, is take it one game at a time and see how they look and see if there's any right now. See if there's any bright shining lights in these young guys.
Exactly.
Stars,
I mean, you look at all
anything else is icing on top.
Yeah, you've seen all these so-called talents that we have that from what I was being told was being held down, being held down in the minors by Hextall when he was here, and now Fletcher's trying to clear some of the room for these kids to come up. This is why we're sitting back. We didn't get Johnny Hockey, which, by the way, I didn't want Johnny Hockey.
What?
I didn't want Johnny Hockey. I'll say it to you again in English.
Is there a puppy in here?
Yeah. I didn't want him. I like Goudreau. He's a nice player, but he doesn't fit the mold of our team. And his money.
What, losing?
No. I'm sorry. He had more losing seasons in Calgary than he had winning.
Oh, true fact.
What's around him?
Dude, he had one of the Kachuk brothers. He had the better of the Kachuk brothers around him. Yeah, I'm sorry. I like Johnny Hockey, but I'm going to give the Flyers their due. I'm all fired up. I'm going to be yelling. I may even try to talk my wife into letting me get some extra spending money and go down to the game on Thursday. So I want to go down there. I want to go down and support this team. You have to support them. Good, bad, or indifferent, we have to still support them. I know my son says he will not don any Flyer stuff until the team is sold. He said
Smart man.
Listen,
that's why I like Evan.
I always tell people I've been through some bad. Listen, I told you I started really getting into baseball in '93. Of course, it's hot.
94, 95,
I
96,
stuck around
97.
for the next 15 years of hell. Flyers were always, either they were in it or not, but they were in it more than they weren't. The Eagles, we were just happy to beat Dallas at times until the late '90s, early 2000s. And then the Sixers, except for what did I have? 2001. That was it. That was the big year when Iverson was here for those few years, and they had the chances of winning. That was it. We had, I was when I was old enough. Charles Barkley was out of here, and there was nothing to talk about for Sixers until they started tanking. So I'm going to watch them, and I love hockey. I love watching hockey. I'll write about it, but it ain't going to be pretty if it's not pretty. I'm gonna be honest.
Oh no,
You're going to see not pretty.
No, you'll be in my category. You'll be in my canoe. You'll be called a flip flopper. That's what I'm often called.
I'm not a flip flopper.
I just you call you take it one game at a time, right?
I'm not gonna. I'm not gonna expect winning, but if it happens, I'll jump on the train and enjoy it.
So first of all, I gotta see what they put in your call. I gotta check it. Did they put decaf? I mean, I don't know what they put in there. For you to come in here and tell me you don't want Johnny Hockey has my nipples twisted in the hardest way possible. I mean, just really pouring all the blood out of them. Because how do you not say you want a top 5 talent? Now listen, and then
because he doesn't fit.
I understand.
Round hole, square peg.
I understand, but outside of it, he's right. He's not a loser. This team's loaded with it.
No, it's not that. It's the system that Tortorella runs. You have Tortorella running this type of system. Johnny Hockey doesn't fit this. This is why they didn't go and get him. Like, you need your nipples are twisted too tight, dude. It's cutting off the circulation to your head. You can't think.
I often don't think.
Like, I really do. Like,
we'll all agree with that.
We can all attest to that.
Yeah.
But I'm saying this is why they didn't go get him. Like, yes, we were mad. In a way, I kind of was drinking the Kool-Aid too. But stop and think about it. There was a reason why they didn't. I actually watched other people who talk about hockey, okay, and get paid to talk about hockey, why this didn't go down. Why? And he went to Columbus. You know why he went to Columbus? Because nobody else, he didn't fit with anybody else. He could have went to the Penguins. He could have went anywhere, dude. He went to Columbus. They offered him the most money. So I'm not talking, this is what I'm talking about. Like I said, he didn't fit here. He doesn't fit in what Tortorella wants to do.
Thank you, Dobbs. Thank you.
Yeah.
One of the Flyers.
Well, come on. I mean, that could happen this year. So he's supposed to be a generational player. So, but the only problem is every time the Flyers get somebody that's supposed to be the generational talent, they always end up. They never take us to the promised land. No. We made a trade for Lindros. He was supposed to be the next coming of whatever. He ended up being a Mr. Potato Head. Like, I'm sorry.
He get his brains smashed in a lot.
Well, he's stupid. Like, I'm sorry. You get hit once by Scott Stevens with your head down. You don't do it again. He did it again. He got knocked out. And you know what? I blame the Flyers for not putting another enforcer around him.
Oh, I mean, how many times have we seen, like, you could blame the Eagles for not, until T.O. and except T.O. really not putting anything
around
him from that outside of Brian Westbrook. I mean, there's a lot of blame that go around with these teams and these owners that really lost opportunities.
Now, Mike, you brought something I do got to agree with you on. Yeah, the John Tortorella, you and I saw first walking in here, we didn't sign up for it. But listen to his press conference. Look, he doesn't even want a captain to this team. He said, we are so far from a captain and all that talk. He said, we have to start this thing from scratch and build it up. He's like, we are so far beyond, like, his press conference have been on point. I will say that. Now, like,
like Al said, when he starts losing 8 in a row, he may pull his hair out and start headbutting lockers.
But you got to understand what you're dealing with here. And like I said, you got to let just fall where they may. Now, listen, when people, got all bummed up by Sean Couturier getting hurt and is going to be out for the season, I was actually kind of happy. Not because, I don't want to know him get hurt, but okay, he wasn't producing. Look at his numbers from 2020 on down or 2019 on down. They've been going down in a downward spiral. Give someone else an opportunity. Like you said, bring up the younger legs. This is what you need. You need to fill this roster with young legs. Look, they got a bunch of players here with unknown. Okay, you look at, like, I looked at their stats. I looked at none of these guys have 20 points, 20 goals. None of them. You just need one certified leader, which you got with Kevin Hayes, and let these guys go.
He needs to produce. Like,
listen, I'm giving him a mulligan for last year.
So was I. I mean, he lost his brother. He was injured. Yeah, like I feel the same way you do, Al, with that. Last year was a mulligan, but
he played real well the year before.
Yeah, I need him to step up this year. Like, he needs to be that guy who puts.
Problem is this losing culture, and it's really difficult with anybody. You get you get kicked in the dinghy enough, sooner or later you ain't going to stand back up. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And it's going to be hard for these guys.
Man, I don't accept that. And the reason I don't accept it is because you get paid to play hockey.
No, I'm not saying it's acceptable. I'm saying it's unacceptable for this organization not to give them a fighting chance. And when you give them, and this is where we have you're going to tell this team, hey, we're not going to compete for a championship this year? No. So I mean, they got to give them. I just don't feel like they did enough to help them out this year.
Right.
I don't. I feel like this team, this organization knows. That's why I think the Johnny Gaudreau. I'm not going to agree or disagree if he should have came or not. I don't think. I think it was simply they're not paying a guy that kind of money when they're this far away from competing in a championship.
like
that's
another
the
thing.
ultimate reason why he's not here.
But like I said, to me, I felt like everything was in line for him to come here. You got Tony DeAngelo come here, a solid defenseman. You get rid of Alec, what's his name?
Sanheim.
The other kid,
Limbaum.
You get rid of him. I thought this was the story for him to come in here. That, like I said,
But they couldn't get off of JVR's they couldn't get off of JVR's contract. Nobody wanted JVR. That's the problem when you sign a free agent and the Hextall did that. So I'm sorry.
Yes, Matty. Yes, I'll be part of that too, my friend.
Yeah, definitely check out our boy Matty B. He'll be doing the Flyers post game show.
Check that out.
If he does it half as good as he does the Phillies post game, you guys are in for a treat. So make sure you check him out.
And look at that beautiful set of brown hair. That's all going to be gone within 10 games. My man's going to be pulling that out.
Nah, I don't think so. Me and Matty actually talked a little bit of Flyers. So
you'll be seeing a lot of us throughout the rotating in. We'll be much more scheduled and everything that way. That way, he can always have a good co-host throughout the week.
I'm looking forward to it, man. Like I'm pumped about the season. Like, hey, you know what? A new season, it brings eternal hope. Like, you don't know how these young players are going to react. And if you take a look, the Phantoms have actually had a really good team over the last 5 or 6 years playing in Lehigh Valley. So it's a natural progression, dude. They have to move up.
All right. So Mike, and I know you're an excellent hockey guy. So look at from the other
an excellent hockey
guy. Well, he's really
excellent.
Good. Looking from the other side of the spectrum, this Devils team coming in. What do you know about
them?
Dude,
they're young and good, and they got great young. Jack Hughes is a stud.
Yeah,
he's a stud.
He can play.
He can play, man. And I'll tell you,
the only thing that will give us a fighting chance against the Devils in Game 1, I think, is that they're new to each other. There's a lot of new pieces with the Devils, and I think that
Subban retiring too kind of screwed them up too.
Yeah, but my point is, I think that's the only saving grace the Flyers might have going into this game. Game one against the Devils, is that they're young and they have not a huge cohesive unit just yet.
Yeah, and can I say something to the Flyer fans too? If you are going to the game Thursday, make some damn noise. Like, this is the start of a new season. Like, there was
you might hear a little boo at some point.
Yeah, but I mean, like, can we get some noise to start off the game? Like, how about a "Let's Go Flyers" chant? Like, some of those games that, like, I went early in the season last year, and it was like going to a funeral.
Well, it felt like that,
but it was before they started trending down.
I don't know, man. It was December when I was feeling like that.
No, this was like start of the season last year. Like
the start of the season, they actually looked. They had high hopes. They're like, they won they won like 9 out of 10 or something.
Right, and there was no juice in the building. Can we bring back some juice in this building?
Yeah, as the Phillies are learning, when you're not winning and you're consistently not winning year after year, it's hard to bring the juice. So I always say,
don't know, man.
It's on the team and it's on the organization to help me and anybody else want to go to a game. Like, give them cheap tickets. Do $1 hot dog nights every night or every other night.
Come on, man. You had to bring that up.
What? I know. He doesn't even chew, right?
But a guy I know goes from stand to stand at $1 dog night.
Dude,
him and my buddy Corky.
Dude, I walk back with 10 hot dogs.
You walk back with 10, dude. My buddy John Corky, he leaves with bags. He has them for like 3 months. He has 3 months worth of hot dogs, dude, when he's done. He freezes them.
If after $1 hot dog night, I'm off $1 hot dogs. I'm off hot dogs for about a month.
Yeah,
I get my fill. I'm like, I'm good.
Pat takes them home
and pumps somewhere. But anyway,
here, let me throw the graphics up for you.
There we go.
Come join me and Big Al today out at Dolan's Bar. He'll be outside. I'll be inside. Probably drinking.
No, you'll probably be outside drinking.
Too.
They put a big screen TV out front for
so I'll be
festival.
somewhere.
All the streets are blocked off. There's no cars.
Oh, all right. So yeah. I will be.
Yeah.
I will be at Dolan's today with my lovely wife, enjoying the festivities over there. So make sure you guys come out. 24 East Sellers Avenue in Ridley. Me and Al will be there.
And here you go, guys. Work compensation, medical vehicle accident, personal injury, criminal law, man. If you guys are having any of those issues, please hit up my man, David R. Cherry. Please at 610-565-0300. Good dude, man. Go give him a chat.
And if you can't be in Arizona today, just take a look at some of these other great sports trips that Philly sports trips have. Me personally, me and Al were with the Washington one. I'm actually eyeing that New York Giants one on the
Me too.
12th,
Me too.
and that's looking like going to be a one that I'm definitely going to get to. But they have all these other ones that you see listed here. We also have a listing for Flyers, the Union. So, guys, if you don't, and even at the home games, if you want to go to the home games down at the Gate House, we have a tailgate for that. I'm actually taking my wife, who's a Packers fan. We're actually tailgating for the Packers.
And I'm keeping my eye on it. I'm waiting to hear from Vince. They might start doing some away game viewing parties locally for those who can't travel too. So they're doing a lot of different things. So
that'd be awesome.
Philly Sports Trips .com is the place to be, and there you go.
And guys, man, again today, check out the pre-halftime, post-game with everyone from this network. I mean, you're going to catch Freddie Burns. You're going to catch Dives, who's been checking this show throughout. You could catch Matty B. You'll never know, but I'll be on today with post-game with Freddie Burns. That's for sure. And I can't wait to talk some Eagles football. Guys, check. This is the hottest Philly sports podcast network out there right now. Painted Lines has been here. Us Devereaux Sports guys, we are collectively coming together as a unit, and we are kicking butt and taking names. And guys, this has been a thrill. So, guys, again today, check out pregame starting at what time? 3:00, 3:30.
Well, it's usually about an hour before, so about
3:00,
about 3:30.
3:30, guys. Check it out. Again, Edge of Philly Sports has you covered. And again, this is my favorite time of the month. This is Christmas for me if you're a Philly sports fan. You have all 5 teams playing, going together, coming in one. And guys, this is Hate It month, not just Hate It week coming up next week. I mean, Hate It month because the week after that, you got the Celtics and Sixers coming up, starting off. So, man, can't wait. So, guys, just to wrap up the show,
$1 beer night.
That would not be a bad idea. I mean, it might get them a lot of trouble, but it's not a bad idea.
$1 beer night.
So, I mean, guys, let's try to, we're feeling the Eagles win. We're feeling. How do you really feel about this Phillies team? Do you feel like they come up short, or do you feel like they can really do this? If they could get past the break.
I think they can get past the Braves. I didn't see too much difference between literally before those last 2 series. The Phillies and Braves were tied 6-6 before the last 2 series. So I mean, I don't see a much difference between the Phillies and the Braves. I think the Phillies can beat them.
I think the Braves win the series, but just by a nose here. I think the Phillies take this.
So you think it's the Braves in 5?
Braves in 5.
Yeah, I'm taking the Phils in 4. I don't think the Braves sniff a win here.
Al?
You don't think they're going to win? They have 4. Yeah, they have to have a win, right? It's the 5
No, I
series.
said they don't get a win here.
Oh, here. Okay.
I think we split in Atlanta. Phillies sweep them here.
You're deep down Al's opinion.
Deep down, this Phillies team's showing me. It's showing me something. I'm gonna go with Phillies.
I don't think it goes back. I don't think it goes back.
If it goes back to Atlanta, that's gonna be tough for us. But I'll go with them in 4 because I think it stays in Philly just for that reason. I'll go with Mike on this one. Yeah.
I kind of it's weird because I feel like if it goes back to Atlanta, I think the Phillies have a better chance. They're a better road team.
I don't know. I think once this team, remember, nobody on this team has felt the injection of energy that comes with
playing at Citizens
Bank Park with meaningful baseball meaningful NLDS playoff baseball. I think that'll change in the playoffs once they can taste it. They haven't tasted it yet. They're like a guy walking through the desert. They haven't had water in a long time. Once they get a drop of water,
and that's one
it's
thing.
Gonna be like the Ultimate Warrior, just like grabbing the rope.
Did you hear Chase Utley yesterday? They asked Chase his opinion on about the upcoming series with now that the Phillies are playing the Braves or whatever, and he turned around and Chase Utley, who works for the Dodgers now, mind you, he's in the Dodgers organization. He turned around. He said the Phillies are going to be the hardest out. He said the Phillies. The Phillies will be the hardest out. He said the Braves are going to find out what it's like to play. He goes, SunTrust Park. He goes, that has nothing. He said on Citizens Bank Park. He said if the Phillies take
Look at how their World Series went. They had like a whole section filled up. There was more people at the Philly sports trip, Washington trip, than there was at the Braves parade.
Wow.
Yeah.
And like I said, and that's one thing, you national guys out there, guys sit there and said, "Oh, the Cardinals have the best fan," all that stuff. No. You haven't seen anything yet. Again, in case you've forgotten, check out this
Well,
weekend.
that's the whole thing because that's baseball heaven. What I saw Friday was the most biggest disgusting thing in the world. People in baseball heaven were walking out of their church.
Yeah. Well, guess what? Because they got introduced to the new heaven. So again, guys, thank you. Listen, it's been a great show, guys. Again, check out the Patent Lines coming up with Edge of Philly Sports. Again, the whole network's gonna be chiming in on this show, guys. A lot to get to tomorrow night. Hit them up, Sully Squad, 6 p.m. And then tonight for you lacrosse heads, 9 p.m. Talking all lacrosse. Love those guys. Off for the mic, my man. See you
Take it
guys.
easy.